So for today's adventure, we are at Chinook Pass, hiking north on the Pacific Crest Trail. We are doing the 2-mile hike into Sheep Lake today. The goal was to get outside and celebrate the first day of autumn with a hike that has some fall colors. Anyways, today's adventure is Sheep Lake. So for the first mile, this hike is just going to parallel Highway 410, gaining almost no elevation along the way, so it's a nice, gentle, flat hike. And then once we get in about a mile, it's going to jog to the north and head into the lake. So we just clipped off our first mile, and so far we've had 116 feet of elevation gain. So as you can see, pretty gentle hike over the first mile. So right at the 1.1 mile mark, the trail veers to the north and away from Highway 410. And at this point, we're at 150 feet of elevation gain. The elevation gain will pick up a notch a little bit on the way in from here to the lake, but still will be pretty gentle by mountain standards. So we're at the 1.3 mile mark, and off to the left, it looks like there's a little trail there. That's actually the start of the boot path that you use to get to the top of Chinook Peak, which is the peak that rises up right behind Sheep Lake. So about 1.8 miles and about 450 feet of elevation gain. Here's Sheep Lake. And that's Chinook Peak up there, and that's got a boot route into it. So we just left Sheep Lake, and now we're going to do about an extra mile of hiking and work our way up to Sourdough Pass, which will give you a view from above down to Sheep Lake. So 2.6 miles, and we're at 800 feet of elevation gain. We're still working our way up towards Sourdough Gap, and I thought I'd stop and pick up this spot right here. It's a wonderful little view. So you can see Sheep Lake down there. We're starting to get up above it pretty good now. We're almost 3 miles up and 970 feet of elevation gain at this time. A little bit further to go to get up to the gap. All right, so we're just a nip over 3 miles, and we're arriving up at Sourdough Gap. We're at 1,100 feet of elevation gain. You can walk through the gap and look out the other side. The Pacific Crest Trail goes off to the right, and if you go straight across, you can drop down into Crystal Lakes on the other side. Anyways, here's Sourdough Gap, just over 3 miles. So a solid mile up from Sheep Lake with quite a bit more elevation gain than you had to do to get to Sheep Lake itself. There's looking down at Sheep Lake, and that's Chinook Peak off to my right, and Chinook Pass off in the background there. Anyways, we're going to get headed back down to the lake. We'll pick up a little footage on the way down.
bears.
No bears today. No goats, no bears. Just a nugget. And a couple chipmunks. Forecast said rain about 2.
Yeah?
So this would be about the right time to get a little bit. But if we can get the whole hike in without rain gear, I'll be happy. Oop, I tried to trip myself there. So we're almost back to the parking lot. I'm gonna wrap this up before the rain starts to hit so hard that it smears all over my camera lens. Anyways, Sheep Lake is in the bag. Remember that the window for enjoying fall colors is really small. We came up here last fall, mid-October, to enjoy the fall colors, and it snowed on us that day, and it looked like winter instead of Halloween. So the autumn window for fall colors is really small. You got to get out there and enjoy it. Anyway, Sheep Lake is in the bag. Get outside.